YouTube.com, Jamestown, California. I want you people to know how pissed off I am by me just doing this video. And I've waited a couple of days to see if anyone was going to talk about it or mention it. But the World Series between the Dodgers and the Rays, Game 6, the fact that Justin Turner tested positive for COVID, continued to play, and then after the World Series went back on the field to celebrate with his teammates. So you had 3 or 4 days or 2 days now, the rest of the world, to come up with this idea. And this idea is not going to be shared because I have all rights to this idea. In my opinion, Game 6 should be forfeited by the Dodgers. And the Tampa Bay Rays should ask Major League Baseball to consider that they violated the rules under the Major League Baseball COVID-19 rules. The fact that Justin Turner tested positive Game 6 and those results didn't come in until during the game versus before the game. And this is very important because if those results came in before the game, then he would not have played, or the game itself might not have been played, and they might have had to play that game in a different day. Now, I haven't looked at Turner's stats on the box score, and I was going to do that before doing this video, but I think that might be irrelevant, whether he scored a run or did some defensive play to save a run. I think that the World Series, I know they're talking about how great the Dodgers were winning the World Series after so many years, since I was a senior in high school, and that they are talking about Justin Turner having COVID, and that's what they're talking about. Well, you guys should be talking about it in the sports media because that's your job, number one. And number two, no one's calling out the Dodgers because he should not have played, and the game maybe not itself should be played. Thus, Game 6 hasn't happened yet, in my opinion. Or they violated the rules and they should forfeit Game 6 and then have to play Game 7 and play all over again after a 15-day quarantine. So in my opinion, the Dodgers might have won the World Series, but they broke rules to win that World Series, and that was a big rule, because while the rest of us have to sit in lockdown and close our business, or when they don't make calls back, when they sit there and say they're not going to help give us cash while they're shutting everybody down. Well, I think that applies to all of us, especially when I hear Garcetti talk in Los Angeles how important it is to wear masks, and then one of the stars of the Dodgers goes on the field after testing positive. It's very important. In my opinion, Game 6 should be forfeited, and that Game 7 should be played, and that the Rays should recall or contest the results of the World Series, even take it to court. And that Game 6 and Game 7 should be played again. Or Game 6 should be forfeited for the Dodgers breaking the rules, knowing that they had a player that tested positive or didn't get those tests quick enough before game time. Regardless of how you look at it, they broke the rules before the game. And I know everybody wants to talk about how the Dodgers won the World Series, and Betsy's a big part of that, and they're talking about it now. But no one's talking about breaking the rules. The rules need to apply for all of us during a national emergency, not just some of us and the rest of us. And that's what's happening here. You could say, yeah, they won the World Series, but Game 6 should not have been played if those results came in, or he should not have been on the field before, during, or after the contest. And in my opinion, the Rays should write to Major League Baseball, and they should reverse the results of Game 6 and then play Game 7 on another day. That's the only fair way by the rules to see if the Dodgers are truly world champions. And I'm not just doing this because of the Giants and Dodgers rivalry, when Dodger fans did that to Brian Stowe, because every time the Dodgers do anything, you need to question it, especially when they win a World Series in a cheap fashion. That's cheap, in my opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, the rules apply to all of us. And if Turner was tested positive before the game and he went back on the field, thus they should forfeit that game. And that's my opinion. And whether you guys do anything about it or not, I'm going to see if idea sharing occurs, because you've had a couple of days to come up with this idea. All rights are reserved. In my opinion, the Dodgers did not win the World Series Game 6. They might have won 3-1, but that contest should have never happened if those results came in before game time. YouTube.com, Jamestown, California.